mic back, but Sasha, if you're not gonna like engage this person like with an argument, facts, and blah blah blah, then please try to refrain from integrity.
Made some very good points, and he's actually made the best argument in the room all day so far.
Great. Well, so I haven't heard Sasha engaging with this particular person, and if you're not gonna do that, then just refrain from kind of the personal attacks and even on belief.
Personal attack, would you?
Let go, go, go. The point is let go, go, go.
That example given to you, Sasha, that's
What
really
example?
bad.
Just let go,
I
go,
just
go.
said it. If you just
I
look
didn't
at
hear
your-
you because you were yapping over me. What did
Let
you
go, Joe, go. Let go, Joe, go. Go, go, go,
Okay,
Joe.
thank you. So I will keep saying what I was saying.
You worship a pedophile.
She's a pedophile.
All right, the next person to interrupt Gojo, I'm gonna move you down. Sorry, I don't mean to be mean, but let him finish, please.
Yeah. What I was saying, whatever you define as age of, adulthood or whatever, this thing is not objectively defined. It depends on many factors, and we have, writing. This is like literally scientific studies you can have. I'm gonna start with a study that you can find in PubMed, and this is just the type of the article. The title is the evolution of the age at menarche from prehistorical to modern times. In this paper, you would find that menarche would be the age of menarche would depend on many factors, and some of them are environmental, and some of them, one of the environmental factors that really has been shown by Baron de Montesquieu. He wrote a book about in the 18th century. He said, in hotter places, people become mature at a younger ages. So naturally, in these places, people will see maturity where the average age, the life expectancy would be 30 years. In these places, people will naturally get married at younger ages. This was the natural and normal practice in these places. And marriage is defined in two ways. In our religion, marriage is just the first contract. In my country, for example, when you're born, you already have a marriage contract with your cousin most of the time. You already have a marriage contract. When you're already born, you're a child, you're a baby, you already have a marriage contract. It doesn't mean that you are practically married with this person. It just means that you have a contract. So this is how it was back then, and this is still how it is in Islam. The marriage is only a contract. Then the proper marriage, that the actualization of the marriage, is done after you have consummated the marriage. This has happened at 9 years old for Aisha radiallahu anha, and she herself said she was a woman back then because she already menstruated. And we know that if we find an objective criteria to define adulthood, it would be that age, the age at menarche. And we have scientific papers who show us that the age at menarche could be 7 years old, it could be less than that. In fact, the youngest mother in history is a 5-year-old woman.
Yes, because of
So this is how we define it.
Wait.
Now it's not this, and I will then here.
About that.
And I will then
You're gonna move Katie down.
If you could land, Gojo, go ahead and land in 30 seconds.
say? Look, you
I prefer if he crashes his blade.
And I will land here, and I hope I'm gonna hear a rational argument. Okay, your mother is a pedophile, and she raped you when you was a baby.
I'm the one who had to fight for you to be able to finish speaking. Okay?
Yes, what other people
Your mother the
And a bunch of
pedophile.
others, just so you
Your mother the pedophile raped you when you were
I
a baby.
didn't say that.
Everybody
Everyone on this
What
stage.
if God
Listen to what you're defending.
was
You're saying that
So,
your defense. No, listen to what you're saying. A 5-year-old, the youngest woman to give birth, even though there has been all of this to show, they inject hormones into chicken nuggets at McDonald's.
I thought that you finished.
I said I will let you.
There's no way you haven't finished that one. There was a grandiose
so
pause.
Gojo's sitting down, so
I will land.
you know, be quiet.
30 seconds and I will land.
Yeah, but
So
you just okay.
the other criteria. So the first
Katie, like you're not
Russia take
Just
So
as
the
a
first-
Kitty
the first
down,
criteria
because
that
Sasha and I are
was-
both waiting very
So
patiently.
physical maturity, that's the first criteria.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so physical maturity was the first criteria. The second one would be, mental and emotional maturity. That was the second one. and she actually learned how she was taken into battlefields back then. That was the case in the deserts back then. Into battlefields with her family back then. She already was mature. She was going and doing all the things. She herself said that. So she also was mature emotionally, and this was accepted by the culture. This was accepted by her parents because her parents, she was already betrothed to someone else before even getting married to a prophet. Therefore, her parents also accepted it. All these four criteria are there within the Islamic discourse. Nowadays, if someone, whatever the age they are, if they meet all these criteria and they are willing to get married, there is no problem with that. If you are gonna come,
Oh my God, man!
I hope.
Pressure play, bro.
You're disgusting.
Because I absolutely don't care about your emotions.
Go ahead and
Okay, respond.
sure, Sam.
Yo, Muhammad is a
Oh
pedophile.
God.
Okay, like your grandfather who raped you, like your mother who raped you. Your mother. Okay. Bye.
Okay,
You're
I
so-
have an honest question. Gojo. Let me ask him a question. Let me ask the stage a question. Let me ask the stage a question.
Ask him if he has any kids.
So,
You said I could respond, so I should really respond.
yeah. Thanks for your response.
No, what you didn't let me give a response.
Oh, that
If
I
he's just gonna insult like that motherfucker, I'm just gonna leave.
You talked for like 20 minutes about why fucking 9-year-olds is fine. I should really
Like your mother raped you when you was.
Okay, guys, listen. Okay, hold on a second.
You remove me, no problem. I'm gonna
I
leave.
have a crazy question.
You need a toothpaste and
I need to rethink my
your
life
mother should have.
choices for being in
Your
here.
mother should.
Like,
Your mother should
seriously,
have.
me too.
Hey, sir, and everyone else, I don't want to remove you. Like, I genuinely don't want to remove you. Just like I genuinely don't want to remove anyone else. I promise that that's not what I want to do. But if I have to, I will. I'm only asking for one thing, is that you mute your mic and respect my mic for a moment. If you can't do that, then I will remove you, but I really don't want to. I don't want to. I have a question for the stage. This is a legitimate question. We see that there's people on stage that believe that Muhammad is the P word, okay? They believe that, a pedophile. They believe that Muhammad is the pedophile, okay? That's what they believe. Now you have another group people on stage. The thing is the people that do believe that Muhammad is, know that the people that have their religion through Muhammad do not think that. They know that. They know that the minute that they present their belief system that Muhammad is, they know that they're going to be met with apologetics. They know that all these people genuinely don't believe that Muhammad is. Hold on, I'm almost done.
Arguments.
All right, great. There's nothing wrong.
Move him down.
There's nothing wrong with the word apologetics. I know because we hear the word apology, we think that there's like you're apologizing, but it's not necessarily the case. My question is this. I understand when somebody has a perspective and a view, right? Like I get that. But like when you present it to those people, your view, and over again, you see that this is not their perspective, your perspective. So it's just your perspective. It is not their perspective because they're going to shoot you with apologetics or whatever this person is going to say. So yeah. So the question is that okay? Like, is that okay? Like,
Yes,
hold
now
on.
can I ask my question?
At one.
Your mama should have shitted you like a dumb one.
I'm almost done.
Move him down.
I really, if I could just finish,
I have a
please.
second question.
Yeah. No, it's the same question.
I fixed it. You can move them down now.
The answer to the first question was yes, it's okay.
And like literally, just like look, let me just.
Hold on.
I've been trying to talk for a while. You said I could talk, and then you talked over me. I won't
No,
rap this time. I promise I won't rap.
I'm
I promise I won't rap. You said I
Sam,
could.
I love
Sam,
you.
you're gonna have to
Do
wait.
your Daniel impression.
You said I could speak, and then you.
Andrew, I said Sam could speak, but instead he did his best rendition with his guitar of your your prophet is a P word. He was
I
singing
wanted
a
to hear the
song.
chorus.
No. Like, I really kind of don't understand what time a lot of you are on, but that's okay. I want to understand. But anyways, Andrew, back to you, and Sam, and Sasha.
Can I just,
My question.
words? Can I just push on the words so that I've been cut off 100,000 times?
Okay, go ahead.
You were cut off 100,000 times.
Yes, I was.
And your
Yes.
Daniel's voice, please use your Daniel.
You were singing a
When
song.
someone says that yes, it is appropriate. First off, the life expectancy was not age 30. That's just because you're too dumb to understand that people died as babies, and that lowers the average. Once you reach maturity, you lived to a normal age, which is why Muhammad being 50 was a normal age. People didn't just die at age 30 in ancient times. That's just you not understanding that child mortality was high. You're just being stupid and historically ignorant. That's one thing. Another thing is, no, it's not the case that people that have less nutrition go through maturity faster. In fact, when you have more nutrition, you go through maturity faster. So likely Aisha was less physically developed than us. That's one other thing. Third thing is, we're not concerned about physical development. We're concerned about psychological
Who are
development.
you talking
And
to?
this is a person who is not educated, who is like,
Sam, who are you talking to?
like
Can you
this is
please
someone
be
who's
quiet?
No, who is he talking to?
He's
The
talking about the
stage.
person that was removed from the stage.
Yeah, he's gone, so why are we still talking about him?
because Scott, can you
know,
shut
I
your
heard what he
fucking
has to
mouth?
say. Yeah, thank you.
Like, we all agree, so.
Shut your fucking mouth.
It's good if we
No
all
one
agree.
agrees,
Does
guys.
anyone
Literally
disagree?
no one.
Okay, so it is psychological development that matters, and it's not the case that 9-year-olds anywhere on Earth, anywhere, are able to consent reasonably to sex. And also, what we mean by pedophilia is not some. It just means sleeping with children before puberty, and 9 years old is squarely before puberty. So it's not even an insult of Muhammad to say he's a pedophile. It's just a descriptive claim about someone who sleeps with 9-year-olds. So he just is descriptively a pedophile. It's not even an insult. It's just descriptively what he is. It's like me saying I'm a redhead.
Right.
And this guy's spending hours and hours defending
So if
having
there's
sex
a,
with children.
but
He's defending it as if it's morally good. And we have to sit there and listen to this filthy drivel.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, at what point when the people keep telling you, oh, that's not what we believe. Here's our, apologetics for this, right? At what point then does it become like bullying when you know that that's not what they believe? Like the text doesn't.
And yet he and yet remember when he did his first interview, he said, and honestly,
That's so true.
Yes. Like, to answer your question directly, like, yes, it is okay. And, like, let me give you an analogy. Imagine, first of all, just that you had, like, a Nazi, a guy who says, Hitler I have started to veneration over this person. Just from history, we know that it's very and the same is for Muhammad. From historical sources, it seems like he was a pedophile. Okay? Then, like, if that person were to start saying, no, but Hitler is really close to my heart. And also, like, I think the numbers are a bit inflated. I think Hitler was, like, a good guy. I don't think he knew about the gas chambers. Yeah, I'd want to make fun of that person's stuff. Probably even more. I just, like, them being kind of, like, in denial about the facts and coming up with these, like, dishonest hopes about, like, oh, like, Aisha saw a lot of battles, so she was mentally mature enough to have sex with a 50-year-old. Like, it's just, like, you're not a serious person. It's like, and especially I wouldn't want to respect that if it's not like you're just lying to yourself, but it's just like you're lying to everybody else about it. Like, on some level, you know that Muhammad was a pedophile. On some level, you know that Hitler was a fucking genocidal maniac. But what you're trying to do is make your view more palatable to gain social credit and, like, kind of, like, grant your view more legitimacy in these circles. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're trying to
दादा
make
दुनिया की
yourself
सबसे बड़ी मछली खानी है 1 किलो खानी है 5 किलो की 5 किलो मेरे पास है तुम्हारे पास सबसे बड़ी लगाइए दादा लगाइए जरूर सबसे पहले क्या आएगा दादा चावल चावल मिनिकेट ऑल इंडिया फेमस इसके बाद दादा आलू सिम का भुजिया ठीक है अरे सलाद नहीं है कोई नहीं खिलाता चाहिए था नहीं खिलाएगा सही बात है अरे मच्छी मच्छी आदमी साथ में लाया नहीं दादा आदमी नहीं उठाएगा अकेले नहीं उठा पाऊंगा देखो ऊपर उठा के दिखाइए दादा कितना किलो का
मोटा इंसान अक्सर यही सोचता है कि ऐसा क्या खाऊं जिससे कि पतला हो जाऊं लेकिन
मैं सोचती तो बहुत हूँ मैं डाइटिंग करूँ फिर मेरा मन जिस चीज को तरस रहा है मैं वो थोड़ी इग्नोर कर सकती हूँ
Some will say, you know, he's a terrible this, and the other one will say, oh, you know, the story is this. And then here's the thing. If even, like, let's say you go to the person and you're like, did you know that he wants to kill millions of innocent Jewish people?
Dial
You're
pad
like,
AI.
what? No, that's not how it happened. Let me tell you why that
Steve
happened.
said-
See, they weren't innocent.
Don't you-
All kinds of people. What I'm saying is that when we approach it like that, somebody was like, this is a hero effect. Anything you present them from their perspective, this person is holy. At what point does it become
दोस्तों एक मिनट मेरी बात सुन लीजिए कि मैं वीडियो बना बनाकर थक गई हूँ लेकिन मेरी कोई भी वीडियो वायरल नहीं हो रही है मेरे आसपास के रहने वाले मेरा मजाक
जिंदगी की शुरुआत ऐसी
Fucking shit. Will you let him finish like you were so concerned with letting Gojo finish?
I don't think degrading is a word, but I might be
I
wrong.
think denigrating was
Denigrating.
intended. That's
Yeah.
nice, but
I was just gonna help you say like because I've heard you say that a few
It's just degrade.
See,
denigrating is also a word.
Denigrating is, but degradating, I don't think is.
No, I don't.
His eyes. So I'm actually curious, Daniel. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you a bit, my friend. I know our rooms get a little wild at times.
Yeah. No.
He posted a picture of him as Pope. Oh, it's so funny. You gotta go to his Instagram. And then another thing I forgot is the girl I fucked, her jewelry, one of her bracelets fell off.
Mhm.
And I have it. And I looked at it and it's imprinted with, it says 4K Italy. Like 4 karat gold Italy.
Mm.
And she hasn't texted me.
Yeah, but it's just 4 carats. Like that ain't shit. It's just very low percentage of gold. It's like 20% gold or something.
Really?
Yeah, look up the percentages.
But do I fuck her again to get it back, or do I try to sell it?
Oh, bro, definitely worth just getting together again.
Okay.
It's not worth it because that thing's probably worth like $40.
Okay.
Are you home already?
Yeah, I'm home.
Holy shit! What exit do you get off at? Ohio?
Oh.
You said Ohio?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay. What are you doing? You going to bed soon?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Good night. Good to see you.
Okay, good to see you too. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Bye.
Right. He's just trying to lump Christian ideology, or me in particular.
Let's just wait. One more thing I want to clarify. Just, it's not like any of these Muslims are denying that Muhammad is a pedophile. Just like in the sense that everybody uses the word, he is a pedophile. And just what they are doing is like they're honestly trying to muddy the water. Just like just like what is pedophilia and what is the age of consent and what is a child and and like at the end of it it's like the prophet did fuck a 9-year-old but people mature faster in the sun. Shut up.
So Andrew, you just
Daniel was trying to say something.
Is it only that you want to make the joke like it's funny, or do you care about like breaking an indoctrination or breaking like a thought process? Is it just like good enough to humiliate them, get a joke in, everybody laughing, or is there any desire whatsoever to show them what you believe is true? And if there's that desire to show them that what you believe is true, is this the most expedient way to go about it? Because if I want to show somebody how their prophet or whatever is wrong and how something is harming them or whatever, I'm not going to come out the gate and say something that makes them be like, man, I'm out of here. Like, I want them to stay so we can have a real conversation about it. I agree with that. But that might not be everyone else's desire. That might not be everyone else's desire. Some people are having fun. Some people just.
I have the desire, or like I prefer they give up their belief. It's just like I think my ability to accomplish that is like next to nothing. So most of the time, what I'm doing, I'm just having fun.
Oh my God! Put it in an honest.
What?
To your first question, yes. No.
Daniel was trying to say something.
Okay, sorry.
But I agree with what you're saying, Sam. Actually, I want to pursue that with Sasha as well. But Daniel.
Thanks, Andrew. I love being in your rooms. You know that I'm an atheist, and you and I have good, respectful conversation. The title of this room is Philosophy and Theism All Welcome. And I just want to say that, about 4,000 or 5,000 years we know of in philosophy and religion, we've been arguing about what is true. And however we evolve, we have at least 3,600 religions on this planet. Now, it's part of who you are, Andrew. It's part of your truth. And it is totally for you, and again, that others are false. But at the same time, it's what we agree on in our beliefs that make us our culture. And there's no way to get around from that fact. We all believe many different pathways.
Did you really stop me for this fucking car?
Let him go. Sasha. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can tolerate it. You can tolerate it.
I'm an equal opportunity bully.
You can tolerate it. You can control yourself, right? Because I'm speaking my truth, okay?
Give a shit about your shit.
But you
cannot
need to be
treat our guests
respectful
like
because
this,
we're in a
bro.
room where we respect each other. That's what I understand of this room. Thank you.
Well, yeah, I think you have a large misunderstanding there.
That's I've been here, Andrew.
He's talking to me. I don't like this. He's not going back because
That's all right.
I'm begging you, Sasha, because they're going to get not enacting any kind of
There's
policy.
no gun
Please
to
let
gun.
him- Just let him finish. Well, that's true.
Starting from a place of calling an entire religion that's not yours, just not true, is not really a way for you to engage in even developing the very precepts of your own set of beliefs. I just don't think that's very inclusive.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just say something to that real quick. So I'm not doing what Sasha did. Sasha saying like you're a prophet to be file and doing that obviously in your time. Let me just say something, Daniel. When I say something like Christ rose from the dead and there's no way to God but through Christ, I'm already saying Islam is false. I'm just saying the quiet part out loud, and I'm not doing it in a way to be offensive, but I am going to say what's true. It is implicit, and I just made it explicit. Anybody who says what I believe is true, if it's mutually exclusive to somebody else's claim, then it's not the case that both can be true at the same time in the same sense. So it is the case that I'm saying Islam is false when I say Christ rose from the dead, he is God, and you worship him. It is the case that I'm saying Muhammad's not the prophet of God, that Islam is not true, don't follow Islam, etc., etc. So I
Makes
don't think
sense.
that
Makes sense. I get it.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. truth.
And I hope everybody will be respectful for me as I
Let me just remove him. Okay, go ahead. Weird. Daniel's gone. He slept.
You don't want to be bullied.
good.
Go ahead.
You guys are saying
It's not good. It's not good, Sasha.
that guy was a moron.
No, we can't pimp slap our guests
Yeah,
around.
but he needs a pimp slapping, like, big time.
Exactly. That's a good point.
I have never agreed with Sasha and gotten along with Sasha so much. And this
I mean, like, I think Kitty's making some good points, guys. Maybe you need like more female voices to listen. That's all I'm
Would
saying.
anyone care about not guilty if Muhammad was on trial for his crimes today? I wouldn't.
As abstain, I don't want to get killed by these terrorists.
I mean, nobody, no rational person in the West would say that he's not guilty.
Yeah, but anyway, just going like look, just say it's not like they're saying. Oh yeah, sorry, Andrew, I think you said you wanted to.
Of pedophilia, of torturing.
Right, that's a good point. Andrew, what did you say you wanted to like address from what I said?
Oh, I think Say was correct that if the goal is to
Oh, sorry, I remember. Sorry,
to change that
never mind.
being inflammatory
Yeah,
for health,
it's just
and your
okay.
response is you don't think you can do anything about it, and her response
Yeah,
is
well,
that
I
you
can do
respond,
next
I
to
agree
nothing
with
about it is the point.
Well,
right?
but you-
Like,
but-
my influence is like next to nil, and then it's like what was happening was I was just trying to talk to Sam. I think it was like a reasonably short conversation. We were just exchanging some points, and then like this guy just started coming in and saying, "Oh,
Yeah,
Sam, you're a
I
retard. You're
love
dumb."
this damn song.
Yeah, but Sasha, like you have Sam who's a Muslim now. You have you who's a theist now.
I'm serious.
Oh, are you a
agnostic.
Oh,
don't
that's a
think-
good start. That's a good start. Okay,
Yeah.
so if that can happen, anything is possible.
Well, I think that can happen because I'm like an honest person, not to toot my own.
Son of a gun! I swear he ones up you every time you think it's a finished cause.
So,
Oh,
I was talking to Sasha, and I wanted to say, Sasha, the reason why I think Kitover probably won is that if that means that entails that if Vishnu comes down, takes you to heaven, shows you all the other Hindu gods, and like hangs out with you for 10,000 years while you hang out with these other gods, you could never be like, oh yeah, I think actually Islam is like you're never allowed to go, oh yeah, the Quran is false, which I think
Yeah,
is
like having
ridiculous.
like an epistemic creed. Like, I mean, the point is like,
I said probability one of
yeah, but you're talking about like somebody's credence, right?
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like okay, but I mean, like, let me give you like an analogy. If you have credence 1 in 2 plus 2 being 4, I don't think it's like super unreasonable. It's like, okay, well, what if God shows up and shows you that it's actually 5? Then you can't show it.
That's why I
It
don't.
doesn't feel like.
You shouldn't assign credence one to any of your beliefs. You should assign.
Well, that I mean, sure, but that is quite controversial.
You should assign like 99.99999 like the max. You shouldn't assign one to anything like this. Ridiculous. Assign one to.
Well, I mean, just like okay, think of like all the like kind of like very basic equations you can do in arithmetic. It seems like you can have like a really high confidence in all of them. And it's like it seems like it's gonna be kind of artificial to. Okay, sorry. Like, let's say you go through just like a lot of these like trivial math equations, and you check your work like a lot of times, and you're very confident you've got all of them right. It's like, I mean, I feel like I don't want to say I have like a very very high confidence that I got all of these correct, like every single one, even if there's like a billion of them. I think I should be able to get to that point. It's like, a very natural way of doing it is to just say, well, I have credence 1 in like every single one of these equations or something.
We love you, Sasha.
Sasha, finish what you're saying.
I'm shy.
Don't be shy.
Yes, I'll talk to you, Josh.
I'm shy.
Talk to.
So I agree. I think it's too much. Okay, I'll do my thing. Yeah, bro, you recognize Hungary and Islam, like thinking that was like some kind of, I don't know what you thought that was. I say that in chat. Like, it's not.
No, it wasn't.
But you're like, well, Andrew says this. Like,
Yeah, you did say that was a conversation. You're responsible for your own safety and the safety of the people around you. Like Muslims not around when it came to things like violent actions, pedophilia, and the reason why, the reason we do that. I suspect because God committed a lot of things that you would object to. This things that are also permissible for slavery, torture, because it's all in the Bible, it's justified by God, and so at some point it was, according to Christianity, at some point it was justified for this to have happened. So essentially, the only reason why that's what okay is because what
I don't believe
but that is if you're saying it's permissible to date that's sorry it's not no sorry I misspoke no Katie stop interrupting me so if you're saying when it was permitted and now it's not you're saying it's relative that's okay at that point therefore morality can change.
Yeah, just because yeah.
So it's relevant.
No, it's not. Well, don't conflate it with relativism. It isn't the case that it's just relative to like the culture or whatever's going on. That's not what's being said. It is the case that God can have there's an objective. You have a duty to fulfill at a particular time, and that can change at a different time. That's not inconsistent with moral objectivity. So I don't, just different times and different applications. You tell your kid not to jump out the window, it's going to hurt them or whatever. And then, at night the house is on fire, and you say jump out the window. No, it's not like danger. It's like the standard can be love, right? And it's like you don't want them to jump out the window because it's going to hurt them. You're going to land second story, 2 stories up, hit the ground, it's going to hurt, whatever. But then if the house is on fire and you tell them to jump out the window, yeah, you said something different at a different time, right? You can close proximity. Doesn't really matter.
So
You have to listen to that person in context and read it thoroughly. And I don't think that ever going to be able to read the Bible.
But hold on. I actually can't. Hold on real quick because I'm trying to respond to the points. So the other thing, but just to be clear, that's objective. And then when you said that, I said that I don't really object to what they're doing. Here's the thing. Let me be clear. Muslims believe that Islam is true. Well, I don't know how many of them, really think it's true, or how many of them are intentional about that. I don't know how many of them think Muhammad was not a pedophile, or how many of them are intentional about that. I don't know what their psychology is. Hold on. Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, I don't think those things are good, but if it's the case that they're convinced that Islam is true, if Islam is true, then those things would be good, and our moral intuition would just be wrong. Okay, but that's just saying if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I mean, if they're right, then they're right, and I would be wrong. I understand that. But that's just saying that God is the arbiter of what is moral and what's not. That his character determines that. And so that's not really there's no newsflash there. As far as like, you said it's morally bankrupt. What are you talking about? It's not morally bankrupt. I'm saying there's an absolute standard. It's God, the supreme being, and we are familiar with it because he's made us able to be familiar with it. It's like actual furniture of the universe. I can figure out that we shouldn't be murdering people. I can figure out that we shouldn't be raping people. It's there. I can feel it. It's there.
So the reason why I say it's bankrupt is because it's so essential. You can't have a realm without God. It's not right. It's not pure.
I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's
okay. consistent with your understanding of God, but you're essentially saying that it's okay if God is successful.
Then I would be wrong. Yeah, then I would be wrong about God. But if I'm correct, which I'm quite convinced that I am, then I'm right about that. And no, the Southern morality is not. It's everything.
But your if is a lot of heavy.
You can say it's a lot of heavy lifting, but
well, because you have to demonstrate that what you believe is true.
You just read the Bible.
Okay, now we're getting into Now we're getting into if God exists. But I'm just saying, you saying it's morally bankrupt. If you're just saying you don't believe God exists, yeah, hold on. If you're just saying God doesn't exist, well then say that. But to say it's morally bankrupt, it's only in virtue of God not existing. Because if God exists, you'd be wrong. If I'm characterizing God correctly, and God is actually the Christian, exactly. If the Christian God exists, I'm actually in a relationship with that God, then it is the case. What I'm saying, like about what he's asking of us, that I'm identifying moral facts, and if they're contrary to some other people's conception of morality, like people think abortion's okay, or whatever the case may be, it would be wrong.
It's like it's kind of the reason why you can go and just set aside the reason why it's relevant is because you being right about abortion relies on people knowing what God tells you, and so if you can't demonstrate to everybody else you have the right understanding of God, then of course we're all know that just as ISIS.
Yeah, it could be wrong, but you said it is morally bankrupt.
Yeah, it's totally right.
The 19-year-old suspect in custody.
Essentially what is
Also, for the police department to secure the
relativism that you can't surpass for planting morality, because essentially if the Nazis had the fact that inside their society that they're right because they want but that is essentially what theism is correctly happen where it's like God is the person who says what he says. Like in the Bible it says that slavery was okay. And so this is the only thing that
You're just,
will say.
I don't think you're listening.
Christians will say that it's okay. And so
Necro.
if Christ don't say it's okay, what?
Christians don't say that it's okay. I think they're being inconsistent.
No, you
Just to be
try.
clear, I think it's a combination. I don't think God's saying it's good. I think he's accommodating culture where it's at. But that being said, that's not really the issue here.
I don't advocate stealing. I just pray that that's okay.
No, please wait, Kitty. Please wait. Does the Christian God exist? Okay, that's the God that I know. It wouldn't be the case that what the Christian God
socially
says
regressive hours they walk out when they don't
is
like
true.
facts. These socially regressive attitudes.
Are you talking morally?
Yeah, well, not just that. What he
These
says
socially
forward.
regressive
Everybody-
attitudes
I guess
are
morally as well.
horrifying.
Okay, what is the hold on. See, Kitty,
So
wait.
they show
Wait.
that
What do you think Christians take the Christian God to be?
should be made illegal.
He's the
39%.
creator of the universe. That
Yeah.
he is person who, of course,
Let me just help you out real quick. He's morally perfect. He knows everything. He's all powerful.
Right, now we have to say nobody's
On the
perfect.
Democratic side, do you think Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez
So that being said, Necro, let's try this again. If the Christian God exists, and I know that God, is it the case that what the Christian God says is true?
Brett, thank you. You've ruined my sleep for this evening. The Democratic Party.
Okay, let's try this again. So, let's add to that, because remember, he's morally perfect. I'm going to include in that so you understand. He cannot lie. Okay?
so his morality, so if I get, so it doesn't matter if I can, so it does not matter if I can show that there's no consistency.
You aren't going to be able to. He knows everything. He cannot lie when he tells you about it. He makes a statement about reality. This is the case. This is wrong. Do not do this. You ought not do this as a human. Don't do this. Would he be correct? Would he be correct?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that it's a commandment would necessarily follow that because God commanded this to their
This is bizarre. So he's morally perfect. He knows everything.
Yeah,
He can't. Hold on. He's morally perfect. He knows everything. He cannot lie. So he'll never violate moral perfection. He'll never lie. He knows everything. He tells you this is wrong. Is he correct to tell you that it's wrong? Don't do it. Is that correct? Is that statement correct? Is it of those two claims enough? Or the claim that it's wrong and then the command not to do it? Is it correct that you ought not do it? You don't see how that would fall. Show me how it doesn't fall. What? No, I stipulated. Kitty, please. Kitty, please. I stipulated this. No, Kitty, please. I stipulated this, Necro. I don't know what you're doing right now. This is why it's kind of concerning to have a conversation with you. I made it very clear. If this God exists, okay, and this God knows everything, is morally perfect, cannot lie, makes a statement about reality, is it true?
We're going to make it over. And that's means for me to say, we're going to make it over 2 plus 2.
You wouldn't, presumably you wouldn't say that.
Presumably, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, presumably, because I think 2 plus 2 is 4, and I don't think he would come down and say that. I think that would be, I don't think it's possible for God to say that.
So God is some person
Why? Necro, you're not answering the question.
Well, the thing is, just as God cannot
Dude, this is a hypothetical. It's a hypothetical. What are you doing right now? Necro, if hippopotamus can fly, can hippopotamus fly? In this hypothetical?
The definition of hippopotamuses don't fly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not.
There's a requirement.
You're just
4,000
not
house
honest
bill
in
filed
life,
already
bro.
this
What are
year.
you doing right now?
Let's have some of our
Like,
public
this is
members
really bad.
listen in as
So
to
would
the
you-
tax on
This
the
is the
state
worst
of
display.
House Bill 35
This is the worst display. Hold on. Kitty, please quit
I think
interjecting.
it's a really
Yeah, go
good
ahead,
idea. It kind of speaks
So,
for itself.
if
Here in
you were
Illinois,
something
I think it will just
forms
worsen
the
human
foundation
trafficking. That's something I'm
morality,
extremely passionate about stopping.
The first one that comes to mind is the one
If I were to
where
accept it,
a person
then I would
commits
accept it.
battery on a police
Yeah.
officer, but
Okay.
can claim
So
that they're
you'll
doing a
accept
mental
any
episode
person
as a defense
if
lawyer.
they're
So
like definitely.
I didn't say I would accept that. You said if you were to accept
yeah,
it.
this
Yeah,
I'm
is
not
the
accepting.
place
you
about
can definitely show me
part of his family's blood at Mount Carmel Catholic Cemetery.
Necro, why are you
Especially
what are you
interesting
doing right now?
is just how many of his
Just because you can-
contemporaries in organized
Just
crime
because
are
you're setting
turning
up a
into
different hypothetical.
Capone's
Look, I'm not going to do this disingenuous stuff that you're doing. I just said if
I'm
hippopotamus.
doing the same thing.
Capone went to prison
No,
in
you're not.
1931.
You're not understanding that. You're just not
Maybe
reading it
the head of the
properly.
Chicago outfit.
If it's the case that
In
hippopotamus
1943,
can
facing
fly,
his own
can they
impending
fly?
return to prison, Nitty decided
Any
that he should
definition
go back,
you can do.
and instead chose to go here.
Now you're just saying, what are you talking about right now? Why are you doing this?
If one of your definitions.
Dino Banding
I'm not
served as the
talking
head
about
of the
I just
North
see
Side
it.
gang.
I don't
That
see
was until the terrible Jenner brothers put out a hit on him.
Yeah, you're just
So
not
it
answering
seems odd
honestly.
that the same
And it's
brothers
just- it's
are very
really
close
weird.
to O'Banion.
I
And
just
the
don't see
family
the
too.
point of asking
And then there's Sam
See,
Van
nah,
Orden,
yeah,
the
you
organized
don't
crime
need to-
figure
how
who
about
I
you
find
answer
to be the
honestly?
most fascinating.
Well, I
His
just
life
think
story
that
intersects with the Chicago outfit,
But dude, because you don't answer honestly, I guarantee you I'm on track with what we're talking about, but you're just not answering honestly.
Shortly before he
If
was
it's the
to
case that
testify
there's a
before the
hippopotamus
Senate,
that
someone
can
got
fly,
through his security
and a hippopotamus
detail.
flies.
Sent
just
him
answer
on
the
to
definition
site.
if you want to do that.
I'm not talking about definitionally. I just said not
Placed
definitionally.
great
Not
importance on the
definitionally.
Catholic burial, and soon
Is it
being
possible
interned here at Mount Carmel became a display of status.
You know, they can be invisible.
It is. Yep. It would
Yeah.
be.
So just definitionally, you can make anything, right?
No, it's not even definitionally. Maybe they get conferred some power by some other being, and then they can do it. And then you just say, okay, they
This
can
is
do
the
it now.
resting
It doesn't mean that
So
they had
if I
it.
were to accept anything as the foundation of morality, then as long as it's not inconsistent, I guess you could.
Why are you doing this, Necro?
So if God
Oh,
is not
for Queen's
inconsistent
sake.
with his moral system,
No, he's not inconsistent with his own moral system.
I
He
missed
is.
it. I missed it, bro.
Yeah, but you're wrong. How is he inconsistent with his own moral system? Point out
well,
one.
beautiful example
He
in
did not have
it was like
stop
Ugh.
In Job chapter 2, verse 3, God said, "You conspired to do this against Job for no reason whatsoever." So
Yeah,
God
do
it
what?
is,
Do what? Do what against Job?
kill his family.
Remove his hedge of protection.
Yeah, so Job, he
Yeah.
did that for no reason.
Yeah, God didn't kill Job.
So
or his
God,
family.
unjustly,
Andrew,
you know,
throw
put
out the
Job
back.
to torture.
No, he actually gave him back everything that he had.
Yeah, I mean, Mixed will argue.
Yeah, he didn't give him back his children to die.
Necro.
Yes,
Mixed
he
will argue
did.
his children.
No, he
Mixed
didn't.
will argue.
He gave
His
him
daughter's
20
name.
children.
Oh my God.
Kitty, hold on. Mixed will argue that God didn't, that ultimately his family didn't even die. But even if you say that
He
they
did.
did,
They did.
okay, fine, that's fine. Even I don't care. Listen, even if you say that they did, God did give him another family. Now you can say, oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
terrible.
Like his children were killed.
But Necro, I
Like
get
that
it. I get it.
compensate. Like that
Necro. Here's the larger point, though. First of all, I disagree with you that God did it. God removed his hedge of protection. He's not the one who did it. It was Satan. So don't conflate the two. But secondly, God doesn't. God, where are you seeing that this is inconsistent with God's own morals? What are you talking about? God has no obligation. So how's this inconsistent?
Because he allowed an innocent person.
And how's that inconsistent with his own morals?
Because he had no reason.
You weren't the one that how is that inconsistent with his morals? With Kitty,
He
stop.
had no just
Kitty,
cause.
stop.
He had no
Necro,
just cause.
with his, with you by your lights, you weren't the
No,
God.
my God. He
No. Oh, yeah, where does it say that he won't kill somebody? Where does it say that? Because what I see, it says the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh, and he kills and makes alive.
had no just cause.
And you by whose lights, Necro?
By God's own.
Oh yeah, by God's own lights, he had no
He
just
said
cause.
that for no
Hold on. God has no cause to do what he did.
Yes, that's what he said.
Oh, no. You mean
Yes, he did.
no. He didn't say he had no cause to do what he did.
No reason.
Like a good neighbor.
Oh, let's read it. What's the passage?
Yeah, Job chapter 2, verse 3.
Yeah.
That's where it said, if anyone is deceived, consider this your
You said 2 verse
There
3.
exists within the curious
Yeah,
and
chapter
unpredictable realm of Minecraft a most peculiar and fascinating spectacle. An unorthodox pairing that defies expectation and yet seems to persist with the quiet confidence of something entirely natural. This is the chicken jockey, a baby zombie or skeleton, no taller than a man's walking cane, astride the back of a simple bun.
Yes, that means
At
Satan
first glance,
has no
one might
reason.
be forgiven
There's
for
no reason
dismissing
for
it as a
God
glitch,
to do
a
that
brief
based on what
lapse in
Satan
the
is
world's
asking.
logic. But
He's
no,
not saying,
this
hey,
union
let's
is
kill kill
intentional,
Job
and it is
for a
magnificent.
reason. Like there's no
The
just
rider,
reason.
though
Or
grotesque
God
in
can
its
go,
undead
oh yeah,
form,
I want to kill you
clings to
for
its
this.
mount
That
with the
doesn't mean God
intensity of a
can't
cavalry
kill
on
him.
a moonlit
Satan's
charge,
not presenting
while
him
the
a
chicken
reason.
trots along.
But God's allowed to do what he wants to do. It's consistent with his nature, which of course it will be. God can't act out of accord with his own nature. He can have reasons for doing what he's doing that
But
aren't
he had
Satan didn't present
no,
him
that was
with
the
any.
point. Job was innocent. It was not that God had a reason to cause Job's suffering.
You incited me against him to ruin him without any reason. You incited
Yes,
me.
because that was a part of that.
You incited
That's
me.
Satan said,
You don't understand the statement.
no.
You can.
He actually gave him back 10 children. He had 7
Yeah,
and
so like, if you say God was
No, we're not going to get into that. Stop. No.
Well, God killed both my children, so what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, okay, so stop, guys. Stop. It's not about that. Okay? I don't care what any individual's personal perception. We're talking about God's morality. You said that this showed that this was inconsistent, that God is inconsistent with his own standard.
Yes.
Read this. No, hold on. Stop. This says, and he still maintains his integrity, though you incited me against him to ruin him without any reason. You incited me to do this without a reason. You incited me to do this without a reason. But God didn't have a reason for allowing Satan to do what he did. That's completely different. And you saying that that's God just having no reason for acting at all. has a reason to do what he did. That's not the point. This corrupts Satan. No, hold on. This humiliates Satan. This was good. This humiliates Satan. But it also strengthens Job. Yes, what would be God's excuse for not giving Job a reason?
Do I have any pictures of myself?
Well, I mean, dude, Job is a great question. Like when you bring up Job, why did the devil, make a bet with God about the protective hedge around Job? I'm 100%, a follower of my Lord Jesus Christ.
Okay, then you don't mind, then you don't have a problem with all that. So we're good, right?
Well, when you're talking about the Old Testament and Job, and when the devil is in the throne room of God, talking to God, and like God is like, hey, what do you think about my guy Job over here? And like the devil's like, hey, well, if you didn't have that protective hedge around them, and they're like, yeah, I'll take that protective hedge.
Yeah.
And then like we took that protective hedge, and all this shit rained down on Job. And you know what Job said? The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
Yeah. Do you have a right to God's protective hedge? Do you think you have a right to that? Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
Job had no reason. He had committed no.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's not the point.
So God, and the Lord, and as I said, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
And God will show mercy to whom he shows mercy. God will kill who he wants to kill.
The only reason God did it was because he wanted to win a bet against Satan.
Yeah, win a bet. You make it seem stupid. You just completely.
Well, that's what you.
It was literally a bet between God and the devil. Dude, why would they talk about his hedge? Why would they talk about his hedge then?
Justin, you can come in. Just let me say this real quick. It's not about a bet. You guys need to quit saying that. That's like an atheist talking point. It's not a bet. God has no chance of losing. There's no bet.
Dude, I'm a Christian. Who are you talking to?
So
I'm saying that you're copying an atheist talking point. There's no bet.
So whatever you want to call it, the devil challenged God.
Yeah, the devil challenged God, and God knows with certainty he's going to fail.
He said Job only loves you. He said Job only loves you and worships you.
Yes, that's right.
Because,
He said all kinds of stupid stuff.
He challenged
I agree.
saying that
Yes, I understand. I understand.
So how is that not a bet?
Do you know what?
Yeah, and it was done in the throne room of God.
Shut up. I need you to wait, Doc. Necro. A bet entails a chance to lose. It is not a bet. There's no chance to lose. God has certainty.
Well, didn't the devil think he was as good as God? Is that why he got smited in the first place?
Justin, I don't think.
Listen, Doc, the devil is at the bottom of your beer can. Be quiet.
Yeah.
Be quiet.
Hey, listen to you closeted faggot. Shut your fucking mouth.
Here we go.
Doc, please wait. Justin, before you say the bet point, I just want you to know, if you take a position of open theism or anything like that, which I don't think you do, then God knows all free choices. There is zero uncertainty about what will happen in the future. So if God says, hey, I'm going to do this, he would know with certainty every action that's going to take place. There's no bet involved, but you can go ahead and you can say whatever you just want.
Yeah, it would still be a bet.
Doc, please wait. If you don't stop.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, Mr. Justin. I'm sorry, Mr.
Please wait. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, it's still a bet even to the people that don't know what's going to happen. So the angels are there. This says the sons of God came before the Lord, and Satan came also. So for the angels who are not omniscient, they don't know what's going to happen. So what Job was going through, he was going through a test. In order for it to be a real test, there has to be a chance that someone can fail or lose. So we all are going through tests. Jesus even went through a test. Jesus passed the test. And it was only a true test because he could have failed. Now, the thing is, Job passed just like how Jesus passed. Job proved that you don't have to, that you can be perfect, and even if you lose everything, you still can honor God. So you don't need good things for you to be good. That's what Job proved.
It was a bad. That's an interesting point. So Justin, notice we were talking about God. They say God made a bet. I don't think God made a bet, but I think God.
No, the devil made the bet with God.
Like, yeah, true. They're just arguing. No, I'm not arguing semantics. I'm going to agree with Justin.
Yeah, you are.
No, okay, Doc, stop. I'm going to agree with you. I've asked you like 6 times. Please stop. I'm going to argue that God, there's no uncertainty there on God's behalf. You agree with that, right, Justin?
Right, you can still be certain, and it still be a bet to you. You know you're gonna win. Well, you know you're gonna win. So, but for the devil, he thinks he's gonna win.
Well, so if we talk about a bet, and I think we're talking about gambling, this is why I just think it's kind of a, because they also want to say things like gamble. That's another term they use. They gamble over Joe. The term entails a chance to lose, and I'm just going to say that that's fine if you don't accept the semantics of that. Justin, I think that is fair to say that. But if a bet involves risk, there's zero risk. God's not risking anything. So.
Well, I mean, that's exactly the point that we were making.
Bro, shut the fuck up.
I moved you down, buddy. You can't listen.
Can I talk now?
No, you can. I just want to hear some Justin.
This was
No, a bet by definition, you just put a picture of involves a risk. There's no risk. But I'll just say this. That's fine. I'll go with what you're saying, Justin. We don't need to argue that. I am going to say the point that it's not a bet from God's perspective. Now, if you want to say that the people that are not omniscient are being tested, they don't know what's going to happen. Completely fine with that. I agree. And that's fine. And I do agree that taking away the kids and the family, that's not really, that should not, you shouldn't lose your faith over that. And that's not, you can lose everything, even your own life. You should be in Christ. You should, follow God regardless. I think that's true. You said the thing about Jesus on that. I think this is fascinating. Because I have mixed feelings about that, but I do think it's problematic on one hand. The reason, so when you said that Jesus could have failed, right? If Jesus is God, you're saying that Jesus could have sinned?
He could have sinned. That's why it was an actual test. There would be no true honor for him to do whatever he did if he would not fail. And the only reason why he was bold and brave is because it was possible.
So what happened if he did sin?
Well, if he did sin, then Satan could not be judged because there would be no judge. God committed all judgment to Christ, and if there was no actual person that was worthy to be judge of man, then Satan can say, look, all these people that you killed or had to die, you have to resurrect them, or at least bring them back, because why are you keeping them from eternal life if they should not be judged? Like, there should be no standards. The standard maker cannot keep his own standards, so everyone should be released from the dead. So and then Satan could not be judged; he would not go to hell.
That's interesting. Okay, Kitty, you can come in. I do want to say one thing, Justin, but
Yes, I wanted to finish.
Yeah, for sure, Nico. But go ahead, Kitty.
It's a beautiful and ultimately hopeful ending. After all the suffering and intense questioning, here's what happens in the final chapters of the book of Job. God speaks. God finally answers Job, not with a direct explanation for his suffering, but with a powerful and awe-inspiring series of rhetorical questions about the vastness and complexity of creation. This divine speech emphasizes God's sovereignty, wisdom, and power, highlighting the limitations of human understanding in the face of such grandeur. Job's repentance and humility. Job, humbled by God's majestic response, acknowledges his presumption in questioning God's justice. He repents in dust and ashes, recognizing his own ignorance and the immeasurable wisdom of God. Rebuke of Job's friends. God expresses his displeasure with Job's 3 friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, for their flawed and ultimately unhelpful arguments. He instructs them to offer a burnt offering and asks Job to pray for them, highlighting Job's restored standing with God. Restoration and blessing. God restores Job's fortunes abundantly. He receives double what he had before, twice the number of livestock, and presumably a renewed sense of well-being. New family. Job and his wife have 7 new sons and 3 new daughters, who are described as the most beautiful women in the land. This signifies a complete renewal of his family life. Long life and peace. Job lives for another 140 years and sees his children and grandchildren to the 4th generation, dying old and full of days. This emphasizes the completeness of his restoration and the blessings he receives in the end. In essence, the ending of Job doesn't provide a simple why for suffering. Instead, it emphasizes the incomprehensible wisdom and power of God, the importance of humility in the face of the divine, and ultimately, the possibility of restoration and blessing after enduring hardship. It's a testament to faith in God's ultimate justice, even if it's not always understood from a human perspective.
Okay, appreciate it.
If you can disregard the fact that Google continues to read it as J-O-B.
Jobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But real quick, that's good. Okay, let me just say this, Necro. God didn't kill the kids, okay? And somebody down in the chat, Morpheus, said that. That's stupid. You guys need to quit saying that. You're just being disingenuous. Necro.
He allowed Job to go through
Necro. Anything that happens in life to people, God is allowing. So it's a stupid point.
even though it was without just cause that Job.
You say without just cause. Satan didn't present a just cause. He's not like, oh, let's do this to Job because he did something bad and we should kill him or let me kill him. That's not what happened. He went up there and he's just like, oh, he only served you because of that. It's not a just reason to do it. But God has a just reason to allow Satan to do it.
Even though Job was blameless and upright.
Doesn't matter. You can be blameless. God can still put you. Tests can happen to you. Even the rain falls on the just and the unjust. You have all kinds of things that happen to people.
Yeah.
So it isn't the case that you're going to have a cherry life just because you follow God. That's not promised. So I don't know why you say that. It's just a misunderstanding.
So, anyways, Kitty gave justification. I mean, yeah, it's something I definitely heard. His justification is that because God gave Job.
No, it's just a nice thing that God did. It's a nice thing that God did.
Hold on, let me finish. So, because God gave Job double the number of kids he had before,
I'm responding to it. That was a nice thing. It's not a justification.
Therefore, God, it was okay.
It was fine to kill the kids. I got it. Necro, pay attention. I'm responding to you. Kitty, please. Necro, pay attention because I'm responding before you're even finishing because I know what you're saying. First of all, no, it's not a justification. Someone may feel better about the situation. They have all these kids and stuff. Give them back to them. God doesn't need a justification for what he did. Okay? That's the wrong way to look at it. God will do what he does. It's consistent with his nature. He does things and he has reasons that we may not be privy to. But when he gives, I'm certainly not privy to in many cases. But he gives us blessings. And if he gives you kids and all this other stuff as a result, or after you had some tragedy happen, that's him being kind to you. But that's not the case that he killed the kids, so quit saying that. He didn't do that. He removed
The important thing is, note that even when he ripped his robe and said, naked as I came from my mother's womb, naked as he still got angry. Remember, he still cursed his friend.
Yeah, sure.
And then through that, you're learning humility. Necro. You're not the only one speaking. I'm talking to Andrew. It wasn't just that. It was the lesson that he learned from humility.
Yeah, I said that. He learned from it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and like the whole point of all of this was to bless him. But Necro can't see that because he's such an anti-Christian and a bad faith actor. Yes, you are.
Well, just let him respond. I want to get Justin, and we get Dr. Adams and Psycho. It's good to have you, Press, and people here. But go ahead, Necro.
Yeah, so anyways, the reason I think it's important is that Andrew, I suppose would say if God, were to slay your child right in front of you, you'd say that God is good. I highly doubt it.
I may not like it, but I know God is good. So
yeah, so you lost your child, and you're going to say before that God is good.
Yeah, and when
story of Abraham.
Kitty, hold on. When babies are dying still, there's miscarriages, and I had one in my family. My brother's wife had a miscarriage. Not cool. Did I say God is bad? No. God is good. So what's your point? I know what you're trying to do, Necro. That doesn't work.
Yeah,
I'm impervious to that.
I don't see how you can ever say that God took away your loving, your flesh.
Why does it follow that God did that?
I said if he did that. If he.
Yeah, you don't know